He had every reason to believe he would die in prison.
I thought all was lost. I thought everything was like, it was over for like 39 years,
But now this young man, convicted at age 14 of a crime he did not commit, talks about the plan he had that helped him stay alive. A Local 4 exclusive. And we're glad you're with us today for Local 4 News at 5. For his first meal since getting out, Devontae Sanford told us it was Chinese food, something he said he dreamed about for years in prison.
And now, amidst the joy that he is experiencing, the investigation into how this injustice happened in the first place is taking a new twist. Our Paula Tutman sat down with Sanford one-on-one. We'll get to her coming up in just a minute.
Let's start things off this afternoon with Rod Maloney, who's been following the new developments involving ex-Detroit Police Chief James Tolbert and the investigation, Rod, into the possibility that he committed perjury in the case.
Yeah, it's a staggering development in this case. And, when you talk to criminal investigators, they will tell you, you never know what small piece of evidence might turn a case in any direction. Well, in this particular case, it was a floor plan of a home where there was a murder. And the question became not so much did he place where the bodies were on a diagram, but who actually drew the floor plan.
I want to bring some people to justice. I think that's very important.
That is former Flint Police Chief James Tolbert talking about investigating rape kits last year in Flint. But now the Law and Order former chief, who was once a rising star in the Detroit Police Department, is now himself on the criminal hot seat, facing the possibility of trading places with Devontae Sanford in jail. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy today played an audio snippet of a recent Michigan State Police interview with Tolbert.
Show me where the bodies
You were in there, this was the house, where the bodies.
Okay, and so then he just draws the bodies. Okay.
Though hard to pick out, Tolbert says that he drew the diagram of the home in the murder scene, and then Devontae filled in where the bodies could be found. Kim Worthy said that collapsed her entire case against Devontae Sanford, prompting his release from prison.
The tipping point was getting the investigation from Michigan State Police and finding out that he was now saying things that were completely different from what he said under oath.
So MSP issued a warrant to Worthy to consider whether to charge Tolbert with
perjury,
which, if convicted, could send Tolbert to prison for life. We reached out to Tolbert on the phone today, and he did return our phone call.
Hey Rob, how you doing? It's James Tolbert. You called me reference to Kim Worthy. Obviously, at this point, I won't be making any. I have no comment on the to make.
So it is pins and needles time for Tolbert, because it is now up to Kim Worthy to assess whether the evidence she has here, a couple of snippets of tape that the interview MSP did with him, and also some testimony that he gave, a court record of a case back in like 2011 for the Devontae Sanford case, whether that's enough to file a perjury charge or might they need more. So it's going to take some time. It certainly won't be tomorrow or the next week, but Kim Worthy will make a decision in that case, we're told, fairly soon. Back to you.
Rod, it seems like a small matter. A bit more on why this evidence is so vital to the whole case.
Well, Kim Worthy spent a lot of time talking about the evidence in the case, and she said essentially that particular piece of evidence sort of was the bow that tied the package together. They had a police dog who apparently followed a trail of Devontae Sanford to his house. They found clothes with gunshot residue in the house, and they said that there was other evidence as well. But this was the evidence that they thought put Devontae in the house at the time of the murder. Without that, they said the rest of the case just had to go away.
Not only in the house, but put him in prison when you break it right down. All right, Rod. Now, our Paula Tutman sat down with Devontae Sanford to hear firsthand about what he went through while behind bars.
She said it wasn't easy, but there was one thing he did that kept his hopes up. Paula joins us live now. Let's just say this young man has a lot planned for the future, Paula.
He does, but I do want to give you the 3 words that he had. Plot to escape, but not the kind of escape from prison when you know you have been wrongly convicted.
When you're 15 years old and you've been wrongly sent to prison for 4 murders you did not commit when you were 14, there's only one way to feel, and Devontae Sanford felt it.
I thought all was lost.
Devontae knew what he had lost with a sentence of 38 to 90 years.
I never been to homecoming, never been to prom, didn't know how to drive. Like, I still don't know how to drive, Like my mother said she's gonna teach me, but I don't know about that.
He was only allowed 5 phone calls a week. Most of them were to his mother. who reminded him that he was innocent, that he wasn't an animal, that he was loved, that there was hope, even though she was often desperate for hope herself.
I got letters about him being hunted in his room, no showers, no food, being in a hole for almost a year at a time by himself.
So you in this cell, 18 to 23 hours out of a day just in this cell. Like, what you expect to come out that cell when that door opened? Like, what do you expect? Like, it's gonna be a monster that come out that cell,
To survive, Devontae devised a plot to escape the physical bars by tearing down the mental ones. He began to plan. Even though there was no immediate hope his plans would ever even come true.
I came up with like a nonprofit organization, different business plans and stuff like that, to help out like juveniles and stuff like that. So.
Come on, get close to your mom. You still my baby. Even though you 23, you still mine.
And the most incredible thing about today, than 9 years ago, is of all of those ideas and all of those plans, they now miraculously have an opportunity to come true.
I know what I want to do in my life. I know where I want to go. I know what I got to do in order to get there. I want to try to give back as much as possible. Like, use my story where, another 8 years or 10 years, 15 years from now, it won't be, you won't be interviewing with somebody else that just got out my same situation.
That is one mature young man who's just gotten out of jail. I do want to tell you briefly something that happened just a few moments ago. This place was surrounded by police officers, about 15 of them, who actually escorted Devontae and his family home from their various appearances today, including one police officer who actually fought to prove that he was innocent as well. Guys, back to you.
Unbelievable. And he doesn't seem to be bitter at all. The fact that he wants to help others is just remarkable, Paula. We appreciate it very much.
I think that is remarkable, yes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Paula.
9 years you would think would
yeah.
store up a lot of anger in
Absolutely.
it. Right now, you can watch the other parts, though, of Paula's sit-down conversation with Devontae at clickondetroit.com. You'll find the link right there in the top stories section of the homepage.